So you gotta be really mindful about what you're consuming right now and how it could had a vast effect on your health and well-being. So today I'm gonna be covering about how the food industry has changed and how many big corporations have manipulated us into thinking that food in general is good, and not in general, I mean like snacks and those like low carbs, low sugar drinks and other things, and like snacks, for example. The food industry that as we know it is just depressing. Uh, if you go to your local grocery store and you go and look at the snack aisles, upon looking at the shelves and shelf full of snacks, you'll notice a pattern that is, they're trying to get you to buy the products and the snacks, the item, and they're trying to make it as low cost as possible so that you can buy a lot of them in a very short amount of time. And like for example, chips, like I'm not gonna name the companies, like chips for example, they would fill half of their packaging with air and the half with chips. And that would mean that as we see the package, even though we know that the chips are not until like not full, but then we still uh bought it because it seems that it's worth it for the money. Like you can get it for $3, $2, or a buck. And even though you know that these foods are unhealthy, you still consume it because the dopamine rush that you get from the food is just amazing. And for example, uh, how the food industry had manipulated us on these, and these big corporations that will spend money researching on what is the best flavor and the best product, the best composition that will make the food most addicting and will make consumer like those product the most, wait and will be able to gain the most profit while keeping the food at a low cost so that everyone can buy it while keeping the prices to be at a high ratio of profit so that they can earn the most profit while keeping the price low so that people will buy more of them. And the people who are in the food industry, like the researchers and stuff, uh, in during as 20 of 22, we are in one of the most in the times where we are eating some of the most unhealthiest food. And whether, like for example, you're consuming 2,000 calories a day or 6,000 calories a day, or you're like a Jeffrey sitting on a couch doing nothing and consuming lots and lots of sugar and processed food and consuming salts at a high level that could cause an heart attack or other problems in the long run. And not doing physical activity, it's just wrong. It it's not that our society had shaped us into thinking that once you eat something, for example, eating chips for 500 calories, and then we just go run or jump rope or do any other demanding physical activity for an hour or so, and we can burn that off. Yes, that's true, we can burn the calorie off, but then how about the salts, sugars, and other uh, processed chemicals and flavorings and other stuff that would still be in your body and could impact you in the future if you still eat unhealthy foods and have unhealthy habits. Like many other influencers that said like I'm eating junk food, but then how can I get fit? well, you can get fit, but then you look fit and you seem to be fit, but in your body it's not the same. Like you could even see how many bodybuilders builders have uh, stopped doing bodybuilding because it had too much impact on them as on their health. Like going into dieting for like 1 week without eating food or consuming so less water that you're losing water weight, and trying to lean down as much as possible so your muscle will be uh it will be the most visible. But then you need to keep in mind that unhealthy eating habits and unhealthy lifestyle is what is making all of us unhealthy. So we need to really do something and change. And if you once you start eating healthy, everything will start to improve like a domino effect, uh, both physically and mentally. And I want to shed light on why eating healthy food is one of the best thing that you can do to yourself, and it just improves you physically and mentally. Like for example, if you're eating unhealthy food every day, eating chips and other things that contain so much saturated fats and salts and other things that uh, is in a very high amount of uh, dose, then it's just not sustainable, and it is a very unhealthy thing for you to do. And it's up to you whether you want to make that decision, whether you want to become healthy and have a healthier lifestyle or not, and to get yourself in a better shape. It is most important thing that we get from this is adaptation. Is an uh, you can gain a new perspective of how you could eat healthy while keeping uh, that you can eat like healthier food while making it delicious. Like practicing mindful eating where you would try to consume things that are healthy for you while it's also good. Like stay away from junk food, any processed food, and things that contain a lot of sugar, like sports drinks and Coca-Cola and other things that contain a lot of sugar. Uh, and sugar has the same adverse effect as like doing drugs. That is the reason why it makes junk food and sugar in general so addicting, because when you consume sugar or any other uh, chemical that stimulates your brain, it releases dopamine, glutamine, and like the opioid system, which is involved in both the nucleus accumbens, which is receiving the stimulation in both situations, of where it would activate the brain and signaling that hey, this is good, and it gives like some kind of like this euphoric feeling of like once you eat a lot of sugar you feel good, you have the hype, for example. And um yeah, goodbye.